CJ Milan, you and your corrupted self need to go get your blood clot toys and go play with it. You need to go plug in your blood clot toys. Yes, you need to go play with your. You need to go plug in your bomber rascal rose and go play with your rose. What you mean Gaza nation need to unite? Unite with who? Unite for what?
A few moments later.
You see, sometimes one of the things that people don't know about it, when you sit down in some room and have conversation, and while you not talk, my friend them sit down with Uno. So, how you think me would hear say, yeah, plot, to send man, to look for me?
Hey, Milan man, boss lady that man, you have to clap for black woman when them a do great. You're crazy? And no other promoter couldn't do enough things when Mrs. CJ do.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Daily Scoop. Today we have another major dancehall discussion, and trust me, there is a lot to unpack. We are talking about CJ Milan, One Kevin, Spice, Vibes Kartel, Masicka, Alkaline Conscience, and Fire Saga. And this story has several different angles. On one side, you have a promoter who has become associated with major dancehall events and large-scale shows. And on another side, you have criticism and accusation flying around social media. Then you have One Kevin responding publicly and raising serious concerns about comments allegedly made about him. And at the same time, Spice has stepped forward to publicly recognize CJ Milan's contribution to dancehall. So the big question today is this simply another social media disagreement, or is there something much bigger happening within dancehall current landscape? Before we get into everything, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and share this video with somebody who follows Jamaica music. And most importantly, stay until the end because there are several different pieces to this story. Let's start with CJ Milan. One of the biggest points being discussed is her role as a promoter within the dancehall space. According to comments made publicly by Spice, CJ Milan deserves recognition for helping bring in major dancehall shows to larger venues and giving Jamaican artists opportunities to perform on significant stage. And whether you personally like CJ Milan or not, that particular point raises an interesting discussion. For years, Jamaican dancehall has been hearing the same criticism. Dancehall is dead. Dancehall does not have the international pull anymore. Or you will hear the artists cancel major venues. But then promoters began putting together larger events featuring Jamaican entertainers, and suddenly the conversation started to change. Artists were getting opportunities to perform outside of Jamaica, fans were traveling, and Jamaican music was once again being presented as something capable of filling major venues. That is why Spice comments are significant, because she was not simply saying that big up CJ Milana. She was essentially saying that look at what this woman has contributed to the culture. And that is an important conversation, because sometimes in entertainment people only celebrate the artist. We celebrate the singer, we celebrate the producer, we celebrate the DJ, but behind those people are also promoters, we have managers, event organizers, sound engineers, photographers, videographers, marketers, and countless other people helping to make these moments happen and be a success. So without the promoter, the artist may not even have the stage. So when a promoter successfully creates an opportunity for Jamaican artists so that they can perform for a large audience, that deserve to be acknowledged. No, Does that mean every decision the promoter make is automatically correct? Absolutely not. That is where the controversy enters. Now, let's get into the part that really got social media talking, where one Kevin, who also identified himself as Ramitan, respond to comments and allegations surrounding CJ Milan. He respond His response was heated. He claimed that he had heard information suggesting that there was a plan to have people confront or go after him. No, let me make something very clear. We are talking about claims and statements made publicly by people involved. That does not mean we should automatically treat every allegation as established facts. That is important because social media can take one statement, turn it into an headline, and suddenly thousands of people believe something that has been proven when it is not. So the responsible thing is to separate what somebody said from what has actually been established. When Kevin response basically challenged the situation head on, his position was that if somebody has a problem with him, they should deal with him directly rather than allegedly sending other people to confront him. And that is where the story become bigger than CJ Milan, because Jamaican social media has become an extremely powerful battlefield. One person makes a video, another person respond, and someone else make a live, then TikTok clips appear, then YouTube channels upload their commentary. And before you know it, a disagreement that may have started between two people becomes a full-blown dancehall controversy. Everybody has an opinion, everybody chooses a side, and the algorithm keeps feeding the argument. Here is my question to you. At what point does criticism become unnecessary escalation? Because disagreement is normal, especially in music. Dancehall has always had competition. Artists clash, selector debate, promoter disagree, fans chooses their side. That's nothing new. But social media has changed the speed and scale of these disagreements. Years ago, people could have a argument and maybe 50 people knew about it. Today, one person can live stream the disagreement to hundreds of thousands of people. And once something is online, it can be copied, reposted, clipped, remixed, and discussed indefinitely. That's why everybody involved has to be careful, because words on the internet can have consequences. And when serious claims are made, people should also be able to provide evidence rather than simply allowing rumors to spread. Now, let's move on to Spice. Spice publicly praised CJ Milan and highlighted what she sees as CJ Milan's contribution to dancehall. And honestly, this part of the story deserves attention because Spice made an important point. Sometimes people don't appreciate somebody's contribution until that person is gone. That is why she talked about giving people their flowers while they are still around. And that principle applies behind CJ Milan. It appears to everybody in the entertainment industry. If a promoter helps Jamaican artists to reach bigger audience, acknowledge it. If a producer creates a sound that changes the culture, we need to acknowledge it as well. If a DJ help breaks an artist, acknowledge it. If a veteran artist open doors for a younger performer, acknowledge it. The Jamaican music industry has produced generations of talented people, and sometimes the biggest problem is not lack of talent, it is a lack of recognition. Now we get into another very sensitive part of the story: Vibes Cartel, Masicka, and the discussion surrounding the Gaza community. The debate basically appears to center around whether fans and members of the wider dancehall community should support or unite around artists even when there has been previous conflict or disagreement. One Kevin position based on the discussion reference in the original clip was strongly against the idea that the Gaza community should be pressured into supporting Masicka. His argument was essentially, if there has been a disagreement between artists, why should fans be forced to participate in reconciliation? And that is interesting question because fans are not obligated to like everybody. You can love Vibes Cartel music and not listen to Masicka. You can love Masicka music and you still respect Vibes Cartel. You can listen to Alkaline, Spice, Conscience, Valiant, or anybody else without joining a permanent online war. Music is supposed to be bigger than fan warfare, but dancehall has always had strong loyalties. The Gaza movement became one of the most influential fans communities in modern Jamaican music. So when people mention Vibes Cartel, they are not only talking about an individual artist, they are talking about a movement, a brand, a musical legacy, and a community of supporters. That is why any conversation involving Vibes Cartel and Gaza tend to generate numerous reactions. Let's talk about Masicka. Whether you like his music or not, Masicka has established himself as a recognizable name in the dancehall industry, but the criticism being discussed is about whether he has reached the level that some expected him to reach, and that is where expectation become dangerous. Because once an artist becomes successful, fans immediately start asking, what is next? Can he headline another arena? Can he sell internationally? Can he compete with the biggest names? Can he create another major hit? Can he maintain relevance? Those are difficult questions, and every artist's journey is different. You cannot compare one person's career directly to another person's career and assume the same results. Because Vibes Cartel career is unique, Alkaline career is unique, Masicka career is unique, Spice career is also unique. Each artist has a different audience, a different strategy, catalog, team, and their international reach. So the question should not simply be why Masicka is not Vibes Cartel? Or why is Masicka not operating like Vibes Cartel? The better question is what can Masicka do to strengthen his own identity and legacy? That is where artists should focus. And when we have Alkaline, Alkaline is another artist whose career has followed a different path. From the beginning, he created a distinctive identity. The image was different. The presentation was different, the sound was different, and most importantly, the artist built a dedicated audience. That is why comparison between Alkaline and other artists often becomes so intense. But here is the lesson. Alkaline did not become Alkaline by trying to become somebody else. He built his own identity, and that is something every upcoming artist can learn from. If you are an upcoming artist, don't spend your entire career worrying about another artist. Build your own thing, build your own team, build your own catalog, your own performance, visual identity, audience, and learn the business. And make sure people can recognize your music without needing somebody to explain who you sound like. Right? Another artist that is being talked about is the Fire Saga. This discussion surrounding his song focuses heavily on relationship, broken trust, and knowing when to move forward. And honestly, that's a topic that connects with almost everybody. Because sometimes people remain in situations simply because they're afraid of change. They know something is not working, they know the relationship is unhealthy, they know the situation is draining them, but they stay. And the message being presented through Fire Saga song is essentially about recognizing when it's time to move forward. That is why music remains powerful. A dancehall song does not always have to be about war, money, or partying. Sometimes the strongest song is the one that tells somebody's story. You have to choose yourself and keep moving. And if Fire Saga can take that message and package it into a memorable song, that is smart songwriting. So let's also recognize the role of women in Jamaican entertainment. Spice is a perfect example. She has built a major international career and has consistently represented Jamaica dancehall on the global stage. So when Spice give another woman like CJ Milan recognition, that is significant. Women in entertainment often have to fight through a different set of challenges. They have to prove themselves repeatedly. And when one woman opens a door, another woman may benefit from that opportunity. So instead of us constantly tearing down each other, there should be more conversations about collaboration and building the industry. That does not mean everyone has to agree. It means disagreement does not have to destroy the entire ecosystem. Now, here is where I think the entire conversation becomes important. Dancehall does not need everybody to become friends. That is unrealistic. Artists will disagree, promoters will disagree, bloggers will disagree, fans will disagree. But there is a difference between competition and destruction. Competition can make music better, can motivate artists, can create memorable moments, but constantly trying to destroy another person's career does not necessarily strengthen your own. If you want to become a number one, create something better. If you want more fans, make better music. If you want bigger shows, improve your performances. If you want international attention, build internationally. Do not spend your entire career explaining why somebody else does not deserve success. Because while you are talking about them, they are still building their own catalog, right? So social media has changed everything. A promoter can announce an event today and reach thousands of people immediately. An artist can release a song and potentially reach international listeners without traditional radio. A blogger can create a commentary video and influence the public conversation. But there is also a downside. Controversy get attention, hunger get clicks, argument get comments, and algorithm reward engagement. That is why creators have to ask themselves, am I informing people or am I simply making people angry for views? There is nothing wrong with commentary. That's what we are doing here. But commentary should add something, give context, explain the situation, let people hear different sides, and don't present speculation as facts. That's how you build a channel people can trust. So, guys, where does that leave CJ Milan? No, that is the question. In my opinion, there are two separate conversations. One is about her contribution as a promoter, the other is about the controversy surrounding her. Those things should not automatically be treated as the same issue. You can acknowledge someone's contribution while still questioning their decisions. You can appreciate a promoter work while disagreeing with their behavior. You can praise an event while criticizing something that happened around the event. That is called having a balanced opinion, and that is what we need more of. Not everything has to be Team CJ or Team Kevin. Sometimes the truth is more complicated. Now, regarding the claim about people allegedly being sent to confront one Kevin, this is where everybody needs to slow down. Claims are not the same as proof. If somebody says something happened, the public should not automatically declare that person guilty. If there is evidence, let the evidence speak. If there is a disagreement, allow the people involved to adjust it, no? And if there are genuine legal concerns, those should be handled through the appropriate legal channel. Social media is not a courtroom. TikTok is not a courtroom. YouTube is not a courtroom. And a comment section definitely is not a courtroom. So while we are discussing these stories, let's keep that distinction clear. There is a lesson here for every upcoming Jamaican artist. Don't let controversy become your career. Your music should be your strongest argument, I should say. If you're talented, keep developing. If you're unknown, keep releasing. If your first song that doesn't work, learn from it. If your second song doesn't work, learn again. If somebody insults you, don't allow them to control your entire career. Look at artists like Vibes Cartel. Regardless of what anyone personal opinion about him, his influence demonstrates the importance of building a recognizable identity. So let's bring everything together. We started with CJ Milan and the controversy surrounding her name. We look at one Kevin. We heard the praise coming from Spice, who highlights CJ Milan's contribution to dancehall and major events. We discussed Vibes Cartel and Masicka and the ongoing debate surrounding Gaza supporters and artists. Right? So, what do you think about the situation involving CJ Milan and Juan Kevin? Do you think the disagreement has been blown out of proportion by social media? And what about Spice? Praise of CJ Milan. Should dancehall fans put aside artist rivalries and support Jamaican music as a whole? What do you think about Vibes Cartel, Massacre, and Alkaline in this conversation? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Keep it respectful. If you enjoy this breakdown, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next update. Share this video with another dancehall fan. And remember, you don't have to agree with everybody to respect the culture. Jamaican music has survived generation of change, controversy, competition, and criticism. I big up every Jamaican artist, producer, selector, promoter, and fan helping to carry the culture. Until the next video, bless up, stay safe, and keep supporting Jamaican music.